Caring for those in need. An analysis of reported giving data in the LDS Church's 2022 annual report. Prepared by the Widow's Mite Report. April, 2023. In our previous analysis, covering 2011 to 2021, we suggested 3 areas for improvement. 1. Share clear financial data about humanitarian efforts. No changes were made. 2. Distinguish between types of aid. Some changes were made to differentiate member welfare from faith-blind aid. 3. Make a bolder commitment. Significant change occurred with humanitarian donations roughly doubling. While the report continues to provide just a single combined total for expenditures, the 2022 report provides better qualitative separation between member welfare and humanitarian aid. Member welfare includes FAST offering assistance, Bishop's Storehouse and other member services. Humanitarian aid, given without regard to religious affiliation, includes cash and goods donated to charitable relief projects and global humanitarian partners. FAST offerings and humanitarian aid are different types of assistance. FAST offerings and humanitarian aid are separate entries on church donation slips. FAST offerings primarily assist members, while humanitarian aid is external and unconditional. While defined differently, the totals are combined in church giving reports for 2021 and 2022. We see growth in humanitarian aid as a notable shift. Based on our analysis of dozens of public reports and statements from the Church, we deconstructed the reported total expenditures of $902 million in 2021 and $1.02 billion in 2022. Our conclusion is that cash humanitarian donations roughly doubled in 2022, the most significant increase in external charitable giving in decades. The LDS Church appears to have begun giving some tithing to charity. Our analysis also concludes that most of the increase in humanitarian aid in 2022 was funded by tithing. Historically, charitable aid was limited to pass-through of additional member generosity. We believe the Church gave approximately 10% of its surplus tithing to charity in 2022. Giving credit where due, the Church gave more in a bad year. 2022 was the worst year for stock market investors since the Great Recession in 2008. Unlike in 2008, when the Church gave about 62% less to humanitarian causes, in 2022 the Church not only maintained, but appears to have added substantially to its humanitarian donations. Large humanitarian donations are trending higher. Whether planned or in response to criticism, large humanitarian donations appear to be rising. Large donations, publicized in the news, rose from $10.5 million in 2020 to $32.3 million in 2021 to $61.1 million in 2022. These amounts are only part of the LDS Church's humanitarian work, but we believe the rising trend is consistent with increased focus churchwide. Different terms used to describe charitable giving. First, total assistance was a cumulative metric shared until 2020. Total assistance meant the cumulative value of humanitarian cash and volunteer aid given globally since 1985. Member welfare was not counted. A new metric, total expenditures, has been given since 2021. This is the value of cash and goods provided for both member welfare and humanitarian aid. Volunteer hours are not counted. Looking back at cumulative total assistance. The cash part of total assistance was disclosed until 2009. Here we show a reconstruction of the data, separating cash aid from the value of goods, services, and volunteer labor. 2020 was the last year in which cumulative total assistance was reported. Our reconstruction of the cash portion of this metric is an important factor in our deconstruction of the new reported metric, total expenditures. Humanitarian giving set to rise at an accelerated rate? In 2022, Elder Kevin Pearson, Utah area president for the church, said the church's work to feed the poor and needy will continue at an accelerated rate. Later in 2022, President Dallin H. Oak said, "The Church of Jesus Christ is committed to serving those in need, and it is also committed to cooperating with others in that effort." Growth in external humanitarian donations. The doubling of cash gifts to humanitarian partners in 2022 may be just the beginning. In our low case, the church adds about $100 million annually to external donations, reaching about $450 million in external aid in 2025. In our high case, the church doubles humanitarian donations annually, reaching about $1.1 billion in external aid in 2025. Current humanitarian efforts rely on a centrally managed network of over 2,600 charity partners. However, wards and members could be utilized to deploy some of the church's vast resources, while providing meaningful charitable service. Our high-case scenario for 2025 of about $1.1 billion would be possible if the church allocated just $3,500 per month to each ward for community support and local humanitarian aid. Will the church tap investments to accelerate caring for the poor and needy? If the church were to draw 4% of its investment reserves each year to help the poor and needy, investments would still continue to grow, while roughly $7 billion would become available for humanitarian work. That is enough to increase humanitarian giving by about 50 times compared to what the church gave in 2022. Light the World, Giving Machines. From 2017 to 2022, Giving Machines received and delivered about $22 million in public donations. We include these funds in our calculation of general humanitarian aid estimates. 100% of donations made via Giving Machines goes to the causes listed. The church bears administration and overhead costs. The church appears to have ended the global brand previously known as LDS Charities, and now gives humanitarian aid in the church's name. 3 possible reasons for this change. 1. Because the church appears to have given more tithing to charity partners in 2022 than all member humanitarian donations combined. 2. Due to legal pressure in Australia, where the church had mixed global humanitarian donations with local tithing to bypass Australian tax laws. 3. Due to brand impact following negative global press coverage. What happened with welfare farm production in 2022? Reported data implies the church produced 52% less food for welfare purposes in 2022. Questions arise from this data. Why are food production statistics given in a way that is so difficult to compare year over year? Has the church sold its welfare farms? Was there a crop yield issue? Or has the church reclassified some of its welfare farms as for profits? Despite lower food production, food donations grew meaningfully. Food given away externally for community and humanitarian aid reached an all-time high in 2022. Reported data suggests an unexplained sourcing shift for food donations. While food production fell by about half, food given away rose from £44 million in 2021 to £57 million in 2022. We examined the year-over-year decline in reported total volunteer hours. It appears fewer hours were reported due to a reduction in 2 programs. First, the number of addiction recovery meetings fell from 2,800 in 2021 to 525 in 2022. Second, global relief projects fell by about 5% due to non-recurring COVID-19 projects. Charitable volunteerism in the church is on a declining trend. As reported by the church, total volunteer hours have been roughly flat for over 15 years, whereas total membership has grown. The data implies the average member contributed about 23 minutes of charitable service in 2022, or about 76 minutes per active member. Over a 15-year trend, this data is another indicator of declining member activity. Planting the seeds of a sustainable future? The 2022 annual report contains a new section about environmental stewardship. This new section portrays an organization which is deeply engaged in sustainability, reducing emissions, conserving water and cutting landfill waste. The report says, members of the church believe that caring for the earth is closely tied to caring for those in need. Is it sustainability reporting or greenwashing? Sustainability reporting is a rigorous, science-based process. While efforts in council to care for the earth are praiseworthy, sustainability reporting must be clear, accountable and transparent. It is a type of greenwashing if an organization proclaims sustainability efforts, but fails to measure and disclose specific environmental impact metrics, goals, and actions. Vague sustainability metrics. Sustainability metrics in the 2022 report fail to provide baselines for comparison and are not measured against any long-term commitments. Water use reduction of 38 million gallons per year is reported, but no baseline is provided and no goals or actions are stated. It is reported that 500 meeting houses have solar initiatives, but this is only about 3% of chapels, and no measurable goals related to solar energy are provided. Similarly, the 73 million pounds of recycled goods processed by Deseret Industries is significantly higher than the 58 million reported in 2021. Why did it rise so much? How is recycling measured and verified? What is measured, the weight of recycled material or the original weight of goods donated? The report contains an error in its recycling data, at one point listing 73 million tons, rather than pounds, of goods processed. The church should be applauded for promoting environmental sustainability. If this commitment is real, then the best place to share that would be a separate environmental sustainability report, containing clear, detailed discussion of values, measurement methods, goals and action plans. In fact, for 2020 and 2021, the church measured and reported some of this key sustainability data in the United Kingdom. The limited amount of data provided about JustServe.org appears to have some errors. Statistics provided for JustServe appear to have reporting or calculation errors. This provides another example of reporting without sufficient detail or consistency in the way metrics are described. In particular, the reported number of projects completed through JustServe does not compute from the figures provided in 2020, 2021, and 2022. The church is effective at mobilizing member generosity. In 2022, $1.02 billion of charitable assistance and millions of service hours were given. Programs target high-leverage initiatives with high-quality global partnerships. What could be done better? Financial disclosures could be clear and comparable. Expenditures for member aid and external humanitarian aid could be separated. Local congregations could be engaged. And a separate environmental sustainability report could be provided. Sources. Please see our website for links to all sources used in the preparation of this report. The Widow's Mite Report. All of the information contained in this report was obtained through analysis of publicly available sources. As new sources are found or published, our estimates may be adjusted. Please visit our webpage for all of our latest reports and estimates.